Hello to my absorbent sea creatures of the interwebs. I'm RidersDX and we just got finished with the Gamescom of this year and we got a lot of information about Spongebob Titans of the Tide. So I decided to sift through pretty much everything I could find about this game from this convention, and I came up with 50 brand new, never before seen, I think, details about this game. So strap on in, put on your seashell goggles or whatever you want to call them, and let's get through my list. Number 1. We find out that the game begins with the Krusty Krab offering a half-price special on Krabby Patties, which is a little uncharacteristic if I'm being honest, but I'm gonna let them cook a little bit. And number 2, there's various examples of this throughout the gameplay footage I've seen, but there are multiple instances where there are seamless transitions from the cutscene to gameplay and vice versa, and I think that just makes the experience that much more immersive overall. And number 3, the game basically starts with SpongeBob trying to help get things ready at the Krusty Krab. So you do things like cleaning the tables, getting ingredients, and all the stuff. And number 4, SpongeBob's main attack now is just pure karate chops and kicks without the gear, but perhaps he'll get a karate costume and use his gloves in that one. And number 5, Squidward makes a reference to House Fancy over here.
Last night I had to hurry home to watch the latest episode of House Fancy before I could clean or restock the kitchen, SpongeBob.
And number 6, a Purple Lamp SpongeBob game wouldn't be complete without several My Lake references.
Well, I guess it's time to...
Let's make those Krabby Patties and find them all good homes and happy stomachs.
At number 7, after the Dutchman's outburst, we switch to Patrick, who is donning his pre-ordered exclusive Naturel costume, Jiggly physics included. At number 8, we get to see our very first enemy of the game, these ghostly fish. At number 9, Patrick also uses punches and kicks like SpongeBob, but at some point he also pushes his stomach forward like he did in Battle for Bikini Bottom. A nice little touch. At number 10, we also see that underwear makes its ultimate return as the main health item, as it should. At number 11, areas that Patrick can burrow under are marked by his shorts over here, which makes this a very easily identifiable section for you. At number 12, certain doubloons are stuck on the ground, which can only be obtained due to burrowing ability. At number 13, we see treasure chests here, which are a brand new item in the game, but they seem to just contain more doubloons so far. At number 14, Patrick can also cartwheel here, and we actually see him cartwheeling multiple times mid-air, which will make for some really nice fluid movement in this game. At number 15, we see another ghostly enemy over here that eats and spits out chum. Just adds insult to injury to Plankton, huh? At number 16, Karen the computer makes an appearance here, and she's basically just whining about Plankton not being around and asking Patrick to find him. At number 17, I noticed that Patrick is bare naked in this cutscene, so this is telling me that whichever costume you select will stay on during the cutscene, which is really cool. At number 18, I just want to highlight some of these NPC lines I heard over here. They're really funny.
A free Earth-based face mask treatment? I am one lucky fish.
Will no one save me? I can pay.
Or something. You look too big to be Plankton.
Bigger than I expected. I can't thank you enough. Thanks. Okay, that was enough. Bye.
At number 19, Plankton makes an appearance here, and he basically just pushes Patrick to go to the Krusty Krab before him because, you know, Plankton of course wants to go to the Krusty Krab to get the formula, but not if the Dutchman is in there causing havoc. At number 20, Patrick can throw these explosive barrels to destroy objects, similar to the Dunder Tikis of the past games. Number 21, you can see that Patrick can just carry enemies. Doesn't even seem like he needs to stun them like he did in Battle for Bikini Bottom. He can just walk up to them and grab them. At number 22, you can also jump and double jump while holding objects as Patrick, which is really interesting and will definitely make maneuvering across these levels a lot easier. At number 23, this seems to be a mini boss of sorts. It's kind of like those brutes in Cosmic Shake, although this one seems to have a lot more health than the other ones from what I can tell. At number 12, we see the sandwich ship over here that we noticed in this initial screenshot to this game, and it really does seem to be a mode of transportation throughout the game because Patrick can be seen over here getting onto the ship to get away from the scene of the crime. Number 25, we transition to the second level being shown off here at Gamescom, and this isn't Goo Lagoon. It's confirmed that this is actually Goldfish Island, but it is adjacent to Goo Lagoon, so you know, we were kind of right in a way. And number 26, from a plot standpoint, it seems SpongeBob and Patrick are here to find a hidden treasure on Goldfish Island, although I've yet to see how this fits into the overall plot of the game, so we'll have to see with time. If I had to theorize, could they have some crackpot idea that enticing the Dutchman with gold is going to make him stop his rampage? I mean, he is a pirate, I guess, so I guess there is some logic to that. Number 27, more plot details. Pearl and Mr. Krabs are celebrating Father-Daughter Day in the midst of all this chaos. It's a little weird to me, honestly, that Pearl cares that much, but I mean, deep down, I know she does love her dad. You just never get to see that dynamic on the show. It's always about Pearl wanting like something from Mr. Krabs. At number 28, I spot a wild Mrs. Puff over there. We don't talk to her in any of the footage I've seen, unfortunately, but she is there. At number 29, Sandy is spotted here as well in her bikini outfit, which I guess makes sense because Goldfish Island is technically a resort, a 1-star one on Kelp. At number 30, this is kind of random, and I don't think anyone actually cares about this, but the tikis have some more physics to them where if you hit them at certain angles, it'll make the other ones on top slide off. I don't know, I thought that just was really cool. At number 31, you can see Bikini Bottom in the distance here, oozing in green. I'm thinking the Dutchman's footprint is limited in the beginning, but as the game progresses, more and more SpongeBob's world will be engulfed in the Dutchman's like grasp. So it definitely is like a stark reminder of why you're here and what you're trying to do. At number 32, this ghost board is something you can equip on the go and even in the air. You don't need to find it around the level like in Cosmic Shake, which is really cool. As you're walking throughout the level, it's actually like a little bubble that flies next to you. So it tells you that that is something that you can use at any time, which is really cool. Number 33, remember those rings that I told you about in my last video? Yep, they can be spotted over here and they're green colored. So, you know, we don't really get to see what they do here yet, but they are a thing here. Number 34, and this took me like 5 times watching this footage to see, but Larry the Lobster can be spotted in the distance over here, so that is another character appearance. At number 35, so now we move into this updated footage that THQ Nordic uploaded to their server after I uploaded this initial footage to my channel. So this one is largely the same, but it's a lot bigger in terms of file size. So the main differences in this footage is that there's actually pretty much no lag. So that's really good. It looks to me like it's a more final version of the game. But over here, you can see a fish drowning, which is a great detail, I have to say. At number 36, so we see the green rings again, and in this updated footage that THQ Nordic put up, you actually can see that these are speed boosters. So does this mean that the ring challenges from the movie game are no longer here? I mean, we will see, you know. I could imagine it being a pretty simple challenge that they put in there as like an extra mission to gain more valuables and such, but we'll have to see. At number 37, we actually see SpongeBob crack open one of these yellow balloons, and they do just carry extra doubloons, so cool. At number 38, we're switching over to another piece of footage I saw. This comes from a channel named Game Riot, and I'm guessing that what they did is they actually went to Gamescom and they recorded this footage themselves. So this is footage of the actual demo that's over there at Gamescom. And so in this new footage, you can see the start screen, potentially over here at least, and it involves SpongeBob and Patrick walking in a circle. So maybe this is a special start screen just for the Gamescom, but I mean, it looks like a really great start screen, so I kind of hope they keep it. Number 39, while they were going through the menus here, I saw that there is a motion blur setting here, which I just wanted to mention because I'm not gonna lie, this footage I've been watching over and over again has been driving me crazy, partly because of how much motion blur is there. I don't like it, to be honest. I don't understand why they keep putting it in here. At number 40, it's just clicking to me now that maybe these later screens are the actual loading screens. It seems a lot more clear over here in this footage from Game Riot because you can see the icon on the bottom right here that's usually there for a loading screen, so really nice touch. Number 41, you can see how the dialogue boxes look in this footage as well, as the HUD is not absent here. At number 42, you can see that the objective of the levels appears on the top left. There's also the health bar, while the balloon counts are on the top right. At number 43, the game gives you prompts on what to do on the right side of the screen. At number 44, and this is a really big deal for a lot of really long time Battle Bikini Bottom players, but dynamic jump is a feature here. So you can hold A to jump higher, and I think that's going to make the game feel much more fluid and much more intuitive overall. So excited to see that that's a little little thing that they put in here. At number 45, I've just noticed this now, but I've watched 3 pieces of footage of this, and these ghost enemies have held different weapons for this cutscene. All 3 videos I've seen of this level so far. So does this mean that they actually just switch out the weapons in each run through you do of the game? You know, I would be curious to see. At number 46, there seems to only be this one type of tiki in this game. You can see here, instead of the classic floating tikis of the past games, these are just standard tikis floating on a bubble. So that's a weird change. So I don't know, just something that I wanted to point out. At number 47, looks like pressing the left side here will show you a path to where you need to go next in the form of your ghost companion. So in case you get lost in these levels, there is a way for you to point out to where you need to go. Number 48, this was really easy to miss, but this person over here, they just caught a jellyfish, which confirms what I was speculating in my previous video here. So we'll see if this has any more significance in the gameplay later on, but it's really cool that SpongeBob can just catch jellyfish in the game. At number 49, the surrealistic drawings are back here. As you can see that they beautifully drew this like coat with the pink fork inside of it. At number 50, so in the distance here, I couldn't tell who this was at first, but then I saw there were Ezos here. I'm like, I think this is Squidward because I see paintings here, so it would make sense that he would be over there, I guess trying to paint this rock. What's interesting is you don't need to talk to him to progress through the level here, so it could be confirmation that there will be side quests here. You also see that there's an exclamation point near Larry when you're walking towards the entrance to the jungle. So this tells me that there's a lot more to explore in these levels, but you don't necessarily need to hit everything in your first run through. So that's really cool that there's like bonus things you can do throughout the level if you want to explore a little more. All right, y'all, that is my 50 facts about Spongebob Titans of the Tide that we discovered from Gamescom 2025. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What was your favorite bullet point particular that I put in here? Was there anything that I did not mention in this video that you think should have been mentioned? Let me know that in the comment section as well. And of course, if you want to stay up to date on Spongebob Titans of the Tide, then subscribe to me because I, as you can see, am very helpfully obsessed with this game already. So I'm just going to, you know, keep on being here and just talk about every possible thing I can because that's my right as a human being in this world. So yeah, thank you all so much. This is Riders, riding out.